Alright, let's talk bow combos. So, the three most important are the downlight combos. You have downlight neutral light, you have downlight side air, and you also have downlight recovery. We whiffed that there. It's a little awkward to hit downlight recovery on someone who's at such low damage. Oh, geez. I promise it works, so there it is. So what do you use each of these for? The neutral light, this one, is good when the opponent is like mid-stage and white-yellow health. You're not going to be able to get any kind of KO setup, but you can continue to pressure for damage. Doing things like Nair or Gravity Cancel End Light is incredibly hard for most weapons to contest. So putting the opponent above you with the bow is very good. The side air, this is good for stage control. So when Lucian's close to the stage like this, even at white, we can potentially set up an Edgeguard. I can't really do anything but ground pound him because he's too healthy. But here, I'm just gonna turn his damage up a little bit. So even if he's at like 40, this will make a kind of big difference, right? We ate the uppercut there, which is unfortunate. But just looking at different damage ranges and what all you can do, that's what side air is for. It's for controlling the stage, pushing them off into an edge guard. The recovery is your KO option. Lucian has kind of high defense, but if we crank him up to like, I think we have to put him at like 170 for this to kill. And as you see, since he has more damage on him, he gets popped up a little bit higher from downlight. Not a significant amount, but it's enough to make recovery way easier to land. And so that's KOing, but that's not. So again, that's why downlight recovery is your better KO option. Neutral air, once they're at really high damage, loses a lot of value. So we can still side air, right? To illustrate this, I want to just crank him down to like 110. So obviously the recovery is not going to kill anymore, right? So if we land a D-light here, the best option is to push him off the stage and go for an edge guard. You can follow this up by trying to down air, ground pound, or side air. It's a little hard to set this up realistically with the bot because he's not dodging, he's not recovering like he would. But those are the scenarios you want to set up. And those are, again, the three most important bow combos. There's one where I'll show you, and again, down in the description I have a full bow guide that goes deep into all this, but you can even do stuff like side air, neutral light when they're at white. But that's pretty niche, and that's not something you should be concerned about if you're just learning the character or the weapon. Make sure you're comfortable with these kind of setups first. So we're going to talk about the most important bowstring, side light, down light. As you can see, that's a 1-frame gap. It means Lucian can't jump out of it. He's set to jump here on attack, but the only way to not get hit by that downlight follow-up is to dodge. It's Lucian's only option. If I rip the downlight, he must dodge or he gets hit. And the reason that this is important is this lets you condition your opponent that anytime you hit them with side light, their response is, I have to dodge. So once you get them to that point, so we'll just do a neutral dodge on Lucian. So now our string doesn't hit, but if we can predict that dodge, we can get all kinds of different juicy punishes. So like chase dodge through, for example. And where'd my man's health go? He's approaching red already from white. And not only can you get massive damage in scenarios like that, but let's say we have Lucian at this range where we know we can kill him. I'm sorry, let me turn dodge reaction off, right? So if he doesn't dodge this, we can recover him and he's dead. So the next step here is he has to dodge, right? He has to dodge this to not get hit by the downlight and then recovery to die. That lets us do something like this. We can anticipate that he's going to dodge because we've conditioned him throughout the match that whenever we land a side light, we're gonna downlight right after. And there are of course more ways that Lucian can dodge. His damage is a little bit higher than it needs to be, so I'm just gonna put it at not such an awkward number. So there are obviously more ways that Lucian can dodge than just neutral, and something that's maybe more realistic is what we're seeing here, up and away. If Lucian dodges up and away, now we can't side sig him, right? We certainly can't downlight him, but we can still answer this. A lot of players will dodge up and away from the bow because so many bow side sigs following that side light will just eat dodges. So if we anticipate a dodge up and away from Lucian, all we do is chase dodge, end sig. If we switch sides here, he's going to dodge up and towards me. This is pretty spacing dependent on Yumiko. Her end sig's not the best, but we can still catch that by just doing side light end sig, no chase dodge. And it's the exact same thing if Lucian dodges just straight up. He's actually at a little bit higher damage here than he needs to be, so this is a pretty awkward spot. This is actually going to be really spacing dependent, and I used a dash there instead of a chase dodge, and I'm finding that a little bit easier to connect. But if we turn him just down to like 130 or something, I'm not sure if this will kill Lucian. Let's find out. It did. So as you see, the damage ranges are all very specific, and there I was a little bit closer to him when I landed the side light, so I whiffed my end sig. That's where I say spacing dependent. If we're right on top of him and we end sig, it actually just connects. So part of this is just being aware of your character and knowing what follow-up you have to do based on how much health the opponent has. So Yumiko's a little bit awkward in the sense that both of her signatures, neutral sig and side signature, propel her very far. And if you go for a hard read, so Lucian's dodging up here, right? Say I think he's going to dodge back, and he just doesn't. Well, now I'm off stage without my dodge. That's pretty bad. So we can do some safer options. So we're going to have Lucian dodge back in at us here. He's set to dodge right. So he just dashed. I hate it when they do that. There we go. So what we can do here is a down sig. And you can combo this into recovery if if you're paying attention. Just, again, be wary. We want to be kind of close to him when we hit this. And suddenly, we've got a legitimate kill set up. 130, not quite enough to kill Lucian. I'm sure 150 will do the job. And that's an option that's not just side-sigging. Side-sigging still kills there, but we're not giving up the center stage. We're not giving up stage control. By even when this whiffs, okay, so we didn't get the kill, but we're not getting punished for that. We're not in a bad position. Alright, so let's talk neutral with the bow. We're going to break this down into a couple of different phases. Phase 1 is you want to control the ground, right? You can threaten hitting your opponent from this far away. Like if Lucian just stands there and I'm here, I can just straight up hit him. Not really any other weapon can do that, unless they throw it at you. And not only is that a stray hit for some damage, it's a combo starter that then leads into more pressure, right? If Lucian's only at white health or something, we'll set him to dodge as well. Say, AI setting, dodge reaction, right? Let's have him dodge away from us when we land this. You can eat people up for 50, 60, 70 damage sequences off of landing a D-light, N-light if you then read their dodge. And if your opponent's, being stupid greedy, We're going to have him dodge down and towards us here, right? That was a little bit awkward. I'll step forward. And now since he dodged right before I hit him with the side light, that makes, like we just talked about, makes a down light true, and then we get another follow-up. So we basically get a combo into one read into another full combo into more pressure. That's very good. When the opponent starts jumping at you, which is what they will do, which is what they're going to do if you're downlighting them, they're going to want to be right about here. Lucian's going to want to come in where this will be too high, and he'll be too close for that to hit. If that happens, for one, you can side light him. You can side light him and start setting those sequences up. Or you can also do something like this. You can walk forward and like feign a neutral light, like walk into this space where it'll whiff, right? Dash back and catch their landing with D-light. That's typically how you're going to want to start off with using the bow light attacks in neutral. For Yumiko's signatures, I see some people just throw the down sig out in neutral and like hope the opponent walks into it. I've seen people do this and then side sig over it to try and catch someone off guard. I think those are gimmicks. They're not reliable. I'm not a big fan of this move in general. There's just kind of those really specific setups we talked about earlier. Neutral sig obviously doesn't hit grounded. It can be used as an anti-air if you want to call out a jump. But that should really only be done if you are very confident it's going to hit and it'll actually KO them. N-Light serves pretty much the same purpose and is so much safer. The one signature she has on bow that is actually good for neutral is side sig. And this is good as a whiff punisher. So like, say Lucian's at like 130. We'll put on a attack reaction of side heavy and we'll give him the Katars. Right, so now when we hit him, he might recover. Yeah, hang on. We're going to have to do this a little janky. Dodge reaction neutral. Now he'll gravity cancel side sig. All right. So if you make someone whiff, you can side sig them. Anything that has high recovery, like even bow dare or Qatar dare is good for that. But that's the basis of playing neutral with the bow. Your game plan should be built around control the ground, force them to jump, and then punish them for jumping with N-Light. We'll get into this a little bit more at the end of the guide. Alright, hammer time. Let's talk basic combos. Once again, we got a downlight starter, and the easiest hammer combo is simply downlight, side light. This will only work on lower damage opponents. Once we get him up to like, say 90, he gets popped up too high. But what we can do is downlight side air. This starts working after you hit them like once or twice. If they're at 0, downlight side air will whiff. But even if we put Lucian at like 30, I think this will probably hit him. Yeah, now we can connect this air. We can even still connect the side light. This is something that's obviously dependent on defense versus attack and all that stuff. It's matchup specific when the breakpoint is of which one will or won't work. But all the way up to, I mean, we can put them on 300 damage, and we can still, oh, maybe 300 is too much. Oh, no, it's not. We can still downlight side air them. That still works. And this is our main combo move. If I remember correctly, it took 170 to KO with the bow combo. So certainly this will work. 150 will be close. Well, let's see. Not quite at 150. Will it work at 160? Let's find out. Yes, it does. So 10 damage earlier we can kill with downlight side air on hammer as opposed to downlight recovery on bow. Alright, so we're not done with the downlight combos just yet. There's also down air, and this will work at 0. You can do this when you're stacked. This is what you have to do if you hit downlight too close to land a side light when they're at 0. But you can also do a dash jump in and get it from further away. And you'd want to do that in any situation where, what am I doing? Ooh. You'd want to do that in any situation where the opponent doesn't have a good a good down air, essentially. Something like Blaster down air is pretty good at covering this. Not many other weapons can contest the hammer nair if you get right underneath them. In addition to this, we can also do downlight neutral air, but we have to be able to pop him up pretty high, so he needs to be at like red health for this to work. Downlight nair is an option. Same situation. Again, this is kind of spacing dependent, damage dependent. This is a little bit awkward of a combo. But if we're in a situation where side air won't kill and for some reason we're not comfortable with our ledge guard, we can pop him up instead and try and kill him off the top that way. Again, that's kind of personal preference or matchup specific. I would always choose to side air over neutral air when they're at high damage. And the last D-Light combo we're going to talk about is the Russian Mafia. Alright, so how this works. Downlight. After downlight, you're going to jump and chase dodge forward. Right? If you don't actually get the jump out, like if you press dodge first, you press them on the exact same frame, you're going to stay grounded and get a side sig. You don't want that. You need that. And then you just cancel the chase dodge with a recovery, and that's how you do it. So this has all kinds of different follow-ups, but again, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes going over them. Video's linked down below. Check it out if you want to learn more about the Mafia. And the very last combo we are going to go over is side air neutral light. This only works at white damage, and you also have to be moving towards them when you land the side air. You also have to hit it about as close as you possibly can. See, that was a little bit too far. Again, even if we're hitting it as close as we can, if we're not moving forward, we're nowhere near landing that end light. So that's how it looks. There's no chase dodge, no dash. We're just going to look at two quick hammer strings. The first is very damage specific. You need a very low health opponent. But you can do end light, chase dodge. I have them set to dodge. You can do end light, chase dodge, side light, and we leave a little one frame gap there. Against Lucian, because he has such high defense and our attack as Yumiko is not particularly high, we can actually get a true combo there at white, but that is, again, that won't work on every character. So just keep that in mind, that it's not the best combo to go for at white anyway. And the last unjumpable string we're going to look at is side light, down light. So as you can see, that whiffed. I hit my side light from like right here, and the down light didn't connect. I have to be like this close to Lucian. Even that's not quite enough. You basically have to be right on top of him, unless you have dash momentum. If you have dash momentum, it will carry you much closer to him, and it makes that much more reasonable to land. So again, a lot of the hammer stuff, the punishes off of dodges for those strings are at such low damage, we're not going to be using signatures. It's nothing Yumiko specific, so that's down in the description if you want to see all that. I don't want to add another 5-10 minutes to this video. It's already getting quite long. So I'm going to move right on ahead to what is actually a jumpable string. There's going to be a 4-frame gap here, but what we're going to be looking at is side light, dash, down light. I left 5 there, but I promise you can make it 4. There it is. So again, with 4 frames, this is actually jumpable. Lucian can jump out of that. It doesn't mean it doesn't have value, though. Much like reading a dodge, you can read a jump. So if I side light him and think he's going to jump, I can just jump up in side air. So either through a lack of matchup knowledge or just being afraid to risk jumping, being afraid to risk not dodging, you will still get people to dodge away from your side light all the time. So here, if Lucian tries to do that, we can just straight up punish him with a side signature. If Lucian chooses to go, away from me, we can end sig him. this is very similar to what we were doing on the bow. Unlike the bow, I think the D-Sig has a little bit more application in these type of dodge read situations. So Lucian's set to dodge up and in at me, and what I'm going to do is a delayed down sig after I hit him with the side light. And you see that catches him there, and it lets me follow up with a neutral air. So that catches the up and towards me. It also will beat him dodging in at me. The timing here is much tighter. But we can use that to cover two different dodges without having to like fling ourselves forward and potentially be in a bad position on the stage. This is a little bit better than the bow version, which is on the ground, so it only catches a grounded opponent. We get a 2-for-1 with the hammer. Alright, and I just want to quickly touch on the neutral game with the hammer. Much like the bow, the plan is to make the opponent go into the air. There are two main ways to do that. One is you have side light. This move will shut down grounded approaches from the majority of weapons in the game. Obviously, stuff like bow or blasters can easily outrange this with downlight, even side light, neutral light, basically every grounded blaster move. But something like the guitars or the sword, this just beats every option they have on the ground if you press a button at the same time, if you both come in at each other like this. So this option is very good against most weapons, and this alone can force people to jump. If someone is outranging you, you can dash into it to make the threat of your range significantly longer. But what you can also do is use downlight. People are very scared of getting hit by hammer D-light. This is one of the harder combo starters to hit, and it just leads to good chunky damage. It leads to a setup if they're at white. So people will often try and jump above you on hammer. If you're staying grounded, if you're looking for that combo starter, people are going to just start spamming jumps. Once they start doing that, if they are trying to just like come in and side air you with their weapon, hammer side air is amazing. Just jump up and meet them in the air and side air them. If they're jumping one time, it's very hard for any weapon in the game to deal with the range and speed of what the hammer is doing here. And because it does so much damage and has so much force, the risk versus reward is heavily in your favor. If the opponent is double jumping, which I can't even make the bot do, but if they're going way above you, just try and get beneath them and nair them. Again, not many weapons can deal with that. It's very powerful. Hammer's neutral plan is pretty simple. Bully weapons that you can outrange. If you can outrange them, make them afraid of you by looking for explosive plays. As far as your signatures go, side signature can be a solid whiff punish, just like the bow side signature. It's the same thing. The neutral signature is a lot better than the bow neutral sig. The hammer's is much better. This is good in two different situations. Near the ledge, this can catch someone trying to dodge back up. As long as you're not overusing it, if you're typically looking for things like catching them landing and downlighting or just side airing them, you can catch people out with the raw end sig. It has a deceptive hitbox. It stays out for a long time and it's bigger than it looks. But when someone is low on options, it can be great to throw them towards the blast zone. Especially against the hammer, people are so scared of ground pound and recovery that if I'm clinging the ledge and someone's trying to come back, what they expect is for me to come over and recovery them like every other hammer player. But instead, I can hit them with something like that, and it's just a different angle of attack, and that's very strong. Don't forget your side air. Hammer side air is amazing everywhere. It's especially amazing off stage. When someone is trying to recover and say they're wall clinging like this, what I like to do is I'll jump up, put myself in this position, and immediately their first concern is, he's going to ground pound me. I have to avoid that. But I'll go wide around him, and as soon as I do that, the second thought someone is likely to have is, oh, he's going to recovery me. I have to avoid that. But instead, what I like to do is side air people into the stage. You add to the mental stack. If people are concerned about, oh, ground pound, oh, recovery, and they're desperately trying not to get hit by them, and you won't just jump off and ground pound a good player if they have options. It's not going to happen. But once you do something like dash off and serum into the stage, now you've added something else that they're worried about. What happens when you just fake them? You fake them out like this. You waste their time. You keep wasting their wall jumps. You try and bait their dodge. Now they're suddenly looking for what, 4 things? What if you just throw your hammer down and ground pound? That's 5 different options. That mental stack is too big. One person cannot. If someone's focused on an option like hammer, ground pound, or recovery, and you go for it, they can snap react to that. If you have 4 or 5 different things that you can pull any one of those out, they cannot put that same level of focus on all of them, and that's kind of how you play the human element in fighting games. Alright, that's a wrap. Sorry to end kind of abruptly, but this has gone significantly over the length I intended. Questions, criticism, leave them in the comments. I read them all. As always, thank you for watching.